Hello friends, spilled an entire Diet Pepsi inside of his PC and surprised that it still works here, bringing you another Dota 2 video on behalf of Dota Alchemy, in which we're going to be talking about my hero tier list for every single hero in Dota. And if you don't want to watch the whole video, it's of course right in front of us here, but I'm going to go through and talk about every single hero and why exactly they're strong, why exactly they're weak, and why they're in the tier that they're in. Okay, so first and foremost, you might be wondering, why is there an OP tier and also an extremely good tier? Shouldn't that be relatively the same thing? So I think Dota is currently in a state, just due to the patch being released so recently and all of the reworks, that the OP heroes are so much better than all of the heroes below them, that if there are 3 OP heroes on one team and only 1 OP hero on the other team, the 1 OP hero team is really going to struggle to win the game. That's how much better these heroes are. And I think it's these heroes, plus or minus a few maybe that pros haven't discovered are OP yet. Maybe something like Bane or some random hero like that is going to be considered OP in a month from now. Okay, so to start, we have Void Spirit. This hero is borderline unkillable. He builds travels, which is amazing because that helps you secure outposts. He scales insanely well. Even with defensive items, it still feels like his late game utility and his late game damage is there, which is crazy because that makes him even more unkillable, giving him even more utility, and he can cast more spells in a fight, giving him more damage, yada yada. This hero is basically an Ember Spirit on crack. Next, we have Snapfire. Ever since people started playing her as a support and maxing Little Shredder, this hero is a beast. Her laning presence with Little Shredder is insane, and she has one of the most devastating teamfight ultimates in the game after laning. I honestly feel like you don't need damage on your team if you have a Snapfire. She's just that good. That is how much damage she does. Next, we have Treant Protector, who was given Nature's Guise for some reason, which is tree walking plus passive 15% movement speed as a passive built-in ability. And as we know from when Monkey King was added to the game, any hero with a built-in skill that doesn't cost any skill points is usually going to be broken, and it is. Next, we have Venomancer. The 7.23C nerfs were not enough. This is the strongest offlaner currently in Dota. He destroys current strong carries, I should say. I was going to say current carries, but he destroys the strong ones in lane. He buys travels. He controls areas better than most other heroes with Plague Wards, and he has insane teamfight scaling damage, utility, and disable. Next, we have Ursa, speaking of carries that Venomancer destroys. This hero keeps getting nerfed, but the win rate, it keeps going up. He's sitting at about a 57% win rate right now. He's one of the best heroes in lane, and also one of the best heroes from ahead. And outposts make any hero that is good from ahead even better. If you can be ahead and then because you're ahead, not lose the game and feel like you're unkillable, like those are the heroes you want to pick in Dota right now, because you win the lanes with something like an Ursa, and then you get 2 outposts, and then all of a sudden the game is just about not throwing. And Ursa is great at not throwing because it feels like he can kill anybody full to 0. SF. I'm shocked that this hero got buffed in 7.23C. This hero was very popular as soon as 7.23 dropped. He was a top tier pick. The Yules plus ulti combo was able to kill, like it seemed to me when people were picking it, this combo is able to kill even the most difficult to kill heroes like Pox and Slarks that SF couldn't kill before, TAs, things like that. But because it fears, you're guaranteed to set up the triple raise combo after the ulti. Like the Yules build on this hero is just insane. He's been getting so many buffs. Next, we have Puck. Puck just got nerfed. The Waning Rift was nerfed the damage a little bit. The armor on Puck was reduced, but I don't think it was enough. People max Waning Rift first anyway because it's just a broken ability now that it gives you the little blink. And mid lane Pucks don't even take right clicks, so you're just sitting on a high ground. And side lane Pucks usually have a beefy hero in front of them, so armor doesn't really matter with this hero. You don't want to be getting hit in the first place. Tiny. Tiny is basically the old Ags Tiny, so he's just insane at farming and taking towers. But this hero can also be picked in other roles and then eventually scale to be a right-click carry, which is really great in this patch because we talked about the outposts, and also there's neutral items. Everybody tends to get items. Everybody tends to get huge. Supporting is kind of a dissolving concept, so heroes that scale well into the late game and start off being kind of more utility, those heroes are amazing. Next, let's talk about the extremely good tier of heroes. First, we have Razor, who received huge buffs in 7.23, allowing him to hit while sucking people off, and his farming passive was added to his ultimate instead of his movement speed passive. But the damage from the ulti was nerfed, and the movement speed passive was also nerfed post 7.23, so he has kind of fallen off a bit, but he's still very good. TA. This hero is extremely good at controlling areas of the map with her traps, while also flash farming the jungle, which is amazing considering how important jungle creeps are and how important outposts are. This hero would legitimately be overpowered if it weren't for the counters to her also being extremely strong right now. Sand King. This hero is great if you need instant disable, teamfight, and he's also a hero that can lane against anything and still farm. Doom. This hero's strong for pretty basic reasons. He was just buffed all around. His Q now gives a ton of gold. His W goes through BKB and does more damage. And his E was given a beastly Ags that increases the duration, makes it stun for almost 2 seconds, and then makes it a break, which is crazy good in the current meta. Lone Druid. This hero has obviously received a plethora of buffs since 7.23, but then a plethora of nerfs once people started picking it. It's still pretty strong though after the nerfs just because there are so many different ways that you can build him. The win rate has gone down. He was OP, but now he's just extremely good. In my opinion, the most underrated change to this hero is the fact that he has a double fear. If you disable the hero, the bear fears you. If you disable the bear, the hero fears you. It is not cool to play against. This hero is impossible to gank. Next, we have Bloodseeker. This is probably the best carry in Dota right now, other than Tiny, probably the best, more generic carry. He's an amazing laner. He's very difficult to pressure, and he's almost always a race car just because people are brawling nonstop right now. Next, we have Nature's Prophet. This hero was OP tier, but people have gotten better at microing couriers. Couriers' movement speed have been buffed. Nature's Prophet was nerfed. And then also people are kind of playing around it better. They're like warding to kill the nature, sniping couriers and dewarding and things like that. So with that being said, outposts are still very important, obviously. And this hero is able to teleport to an outpost right before you get the experience and just steal it. So innately, that's going to be broken until outposts get nerfed a little bit more. Venge. This hero has been nerfed since 7.23, but for whatever reason, the win rate doesn't seem to budge. This leads me to believe that they aren't nerfing the components to Venge that make her strong right now. I think in the previous patch, she was underrated. She's still really good, and basically the new Ags is insanely good for taking fights. The aura makes her do an insane amount of damage. She's really good at fighting early. She loves brawling. She can just persistently keep fighting, and that's what's good in this meta. Batrider. I'm surprised that this hero is not getting picked more. He hasn't gotten nerfed, and when it does get picked, it looks really good. This hero has a 0 cast time on his Q that makes him impossible to get away from. His Firefly gives him more vision, and that makes him a fierce ganker. And he benefits a lot more from the new items than other heroes. Consider like the spider legs on Bat. It's just ridiculous when he gets that. The game is pretty hard to deal with this hero when he has spider legs. Beastmaster, 55% win rate on Dota 2 Pro Tracker. He's very much like Veno, where he's good at controlling areas with Hawks and Boars, which is really good for the outpost and side lane meta. And the only downside to this hero is that he's punishable in lane by certain carries like Naga or Bristle, and I don't think Veno is anywhere near as punishable as Beastmaster. Bane. This hero could possibly be in the OP tier. I'm not 100% sure. There's not too many picking it, but it does, too many people picking it, I should say. But he does have a 60% win rate on Dota 2 Pro Tracker. The new Enfeeble is definitely one of the most overlooked changes in the patch. Just consider the Bane plus Mirana combo. 30% status resistance reduction on arrow. Like, Jesus, that is a long disable. Lina. I skipped over Mag. Lina, this hero is one of the best laners in the game. It's almost impossible to lose a lane with Lina, so she's just one of the best fours in the game. Magnus, he was just OP, but they nerfed his skewer Aghanims. Now it's a 6-second cooldown instead of 4-second. Thank God. It costs half mana instead of 0. Thank God. But I've played against it, and it's still extremely good. It's still very hard to deal with. Just the new Empower, it makes Magnus such a beast of a mid laner. Drow Ranger. So this is just the old Drow Ranger, except she has the ability to push out lanes. And with the ability to push out lanes, that means she has the ability to actually win lanes. So this is a hero that has always been able to farm incredibly fast and just destroys in the late game despite losing lanes, but now she can win lanes. So you can imagine why this hero is extremely good. Rubik. This one is kind of obvious. The laning presence of this hero is still very good, but basically the meta is filled with good spellcasters, and anytime that's the case, Rubik is going to be good because he just steals their spells, except better. Next, let's talk about the good tier of heroes. First, we have Skywrath Mage, excellent laner, excellent scaling into the late game. Doesn't combo too well with a lot of the offlaners people are picking right now. It's the only downside. It's kind of old meta offlaners, but still quite good. Crystal Maiden was broken at the start of the patch. They removed the magic resistance on the Arcane Aura, and now it's a talent, so she's a little bit worse, but still good. Abaddon was very good in 7.22, got nerfed, fell off, but it's still a deathball meta, and this hero is good at deathballing, so this hero is still decent. Axe was good before, 7.22. Very good against heroes that died to the Blade Mail Call combo. 0.3 second cooldown on his spin makes him quite good, but not necessarily S tier. Centaur, very generic offlaner, is a stunner, nuker, his passive was buffed, very good against heroes if you need some sort of disengage. Mars, unfortunately I think this hero is just weaker since they changed the ultimate to do like way less damage and have a longer cooldown. Definitely buffed to the point of being viable, but not broken. Kunkka, best mid laner for so long. Understandably, after so many nerfs, he's just in the good tier instead of OP tier, but still quite good, especially against like Broodmothers and Queen of Pains. Like, he really hard counters certain matchups. Lifestealer, people are going Armlet Deso. I think that is a good build, building raw damage on an attack speed hero. It's still decent, but it's not one of the best carries. Night Stalker, very punishable in lane. You can pick Naga if it's an offlaner. You can pick Timbersaw if it's a Night Stalker carry and completely decimate him. However, in games where Night Stalker has a good lane, he is unstoppable. Omni Knight, pretty generic kind of save hero. I think there are games where he can get really countered if somebody picks like Monkey King or Razor and just dumps on you in the lane and it can feel useless. However, there are certain games where the enemy team has a lot of physical damage. They have some sort of like PL or Naga, some useless hero to pure damage in the lane, and then it feels absolutely like you cannot deal with the Omni Knight. Phoenix, weak laner. You need to pick stuns if you have this hero in the other roles. It's also a hero that's kind of greedy, needs farm, but when it does get farm, it's an amazing fighter, a team fighter, I should say. Slardar was better in a meta where people weren't picking like Venomancers and Ursas and Troll Warlords. Like, there's heroes that really shit on Slardar, but if the enemy team has a Naix or a Jug, then it's a very good Slardar game. Slark, one of the better carries right now, very good against these mobile heroes because he has the leash, good against tanky heroes because he steals a bunch of stats from them, but definitely punishable in the lane. As I said, Axe can really hard counter Slark. He's not like the uncounterable monster that he was before. Spirit Breaker, very good pub hero, really good against lineups that like want to brawl you because this is the best brawling hero in the game. Also good against Nature's Prophet, any sort of split pushing because of his global presence, but not broken by any means. Sven, the Superman build on this hero is really cool, really awesome, really good, but it does require a good amount of farm. Underlord. People were saying in my previous tier list that I should check this hero out and that I was underrating it. I agree. I think Underlord is quite good of a hero. He's been buffed a lot. It's very similar to Doom where everything has just been increased on him and buffed and buffed and buffed. So he's at a good place, but not necessarily uncounterable. If you're against like a Timbersaw or a Monkey King, it can feel really bad. Same problem that Tidehunter has. He's very punishable in the lane. That sort of frontlining, walk into style is not always great in a game of Dota because there are some heroes you can't do that against. Tidehunter is very limited by the long Ravage cooldown too, and if you have to be the initiator as well on Tidehunter, it feels really bad because you don't want to go for a blink, but sometimes you need to be the hero and you'd kind of rather be like a Sand King or something, but still decent. Anti-Mage. Punishable. Meepo is good. This is the hardest counter in all of Dota, is Meepo versus Anti-Mage. There's plenty of counters to Meepo, or to Anti-Mage, sorry. Slardar's another good one for the laning stage, but if you can get a good AM game, if you can get it last pick, it is a beastly hero since they changed his mana break to be percentage-based as well. Ember Spirit, basically a crappier version of Void Spirit, but actually quite good against the Void Spirit hero. A little bit slow, a little bit punishable in the lane compared to a lot of these new like ridiculous heroes. But with that being said, Ember Spirit is always going to be a good hero. Faceless Void, this hero probably would have fallen off a little bit more, but there's a huge lack of heroes that can disable in this meta. These like big disables. If you pick Void plus Snapfire, it's really good. If you pick Void into this very annoying Void Spirit who seems like you can't catch him, it's very good. So the Chronosphere is just just really good because of the fact that there's so many heroes that are insanely mobile. Gyrocopter, once again, it's a brawling meta. This hero just gets level 6 and runs around, and you can very easily secure outposts with Gyro. He's a very active carry, so still decent. Luna, another active carry, but also has the opportunity to farm. Really good with Wisp, really good in off lane or 3 position or 4 position, maybe even 5 position because of the magic damage build that you can go. So Luna's in a good spot. Possibly this hero could be up in the list if people figure out a build with it. Morphling, this is your Veno counter. Pick this against Veno. Naga Siren, there are certain lanes where you can pick Naga, like into Night Stalker, for example, and it's just a completely free game, and she can secure outposts with songs, so she's pretty good. Nyx Assassin, the move speed buff has been amazing for him. It makes his roaming excellent because the Vendetta benefits from the base movement speed, so this hero is pretty nice. Meteor Hammer's been getting tons of buffs too, and he loves to build Meteor Hammer. Pangolier, there's a lot of room in this patch for greedy off lanes and greedy 4 and 5 positions, and that's what this hero is. So this is a decent patch for Pango. I would put Pango in these lower tiers previous to this patch. Chen, it bores me that he's on here, but he's still extremely good. Probably OP tier if you're a really good Chen player, but not for very fun reasons. You just throw creeps at people and win lanes, and then infinite heal people with magic resistance. Disruptor, the change to his Q has been amazing for him. It makes him really good at trading in the lane. That's very annoying to deal with as an offlaner, so that was a pretty nice buff to him, and that was in a time where I think Disruptor was a little bit underrated, so he's decent. Enigma, Midnight Pulse has been buffed. Black Hole is always good. If you can pick this hero into a game where he can just be the win condition and there's no Black Hole cancel, it's a free game. Jakiro, really good at pushing lanes, so you can build travels. You don't even need to build travels. You can just suicide down lanes and secure outposts that way. It's a really good hero, excellent for laning as well. Keeper of the Light didn't get nerfed hard enough. Will-O-Wisp is still broken. Leshrac you can build into travels and push lanes. The only problem with Leshrac is his laning. That's my only concern picking this hero. It's like, okay, I need to make sure that my lane is decent because you can get really punished, but if you get past the laning stage, there are very few heroes that farm as quickly as Leshrac and push lanes as quickly as Leshrac, so you can secure outposts very easily with this hero. Ogre, the double ignite stuff that you can do now is really cool, really interesting. He could be like a frontline body for something like a Puck or a Leshrac, so this hero can definitely be very viable right now. Shadow Shaman, also kind of like a frontline body in the laning stage, and then out of the laning stage, he's really good disable against, once again, these like Void Spirits and annoying, hard-to-catch heroes. Silencer, the glaive-stealing int make him insanely powerful in the lane. It's so annoying to deal with. He hits you a few times, and you have no mana to cast anything, especially if you're an int hero, then you just straight up can't trade with this hero, so Silencer's in a really good place. He's also really good against Snapfire, because you just press R, and then Snapfire ultimate stops. So that's kind of the counter. Zeus, he's also good against Void Spirit, but Zeus is really strong right now. Zeus was strong in 7.22, really good at dewarding. You can just run around the map and deward the eye spots, and you're guaranteed to get a bunch of free wards. Elder Titan, very good against these high armor, high base armor heroes. A lot of these agi heroes that people are picking, like Morphling and like Naga, Drow Ranger, and you can just dump on them in the lane. Very similar to Ogre, you can be kind of that frontline body for like a Puck or something. Brewmaster, decent hero. The buffs to him were all around good. I wouldn't say Brew is like ever an insta-win, but there are some games where there's an enemy hero where you just can't deal with them, like a Bristleback, and all you need to do is lift them up with the Brewmaster, and he can make the game not unwinnable, which is really cool. Io, really good with a lot of the common heroes that people are picking right now, such as Tiny, such as Luna. There's a lot of good Io combos right now. Winter Wyvern, I love this hero as a pause 3. I think that maybe you could even pause 2 it, pause 5, pause 4, of course. You can build into like Maelstrom, Desolator, like things like that, and do your own damage, or you can go for the Blink Ether Lens build and then be more of like a support. This hero has really good options right now. Earth Spirit, this hero is a frontline body. I think the instant silence is really great for a lot of the heroes that are currently in the meta. He feels really strong in the lane. Like the game is very active and it's very much so about fighting and not having these long cooldowns. And Earth Spirit doesn't really rely on any cooldowns as long as he has a team to kind of back him up. Lycan, very good if you can get a good game for it. If there's not much to clear your units, as well as if there isn't anything to like disable you through your ultimate, this hero can be a completely free win, which is why I think it has like a 65 or something % win rate in like pro level pubs, is because people are just picking it when it's an insane game for it and winning. Necrophos, very good if you can get a good lane. There's a bunch of like tanky strength heroes on the enemy team, Beastmasters, like Lorne Druid with the bear, Bristleback. You can have a very free game, but definitely punishable. I'm not entirely sure exactly what lane he should go in, but I think Necro's in a very good place. Viper, this hero, I think a lot of people would rate it higher than how I have it rated here, but I see that the win rate is not that great. People are kind of spam picking it. but it doesn't really catch up in farm as fast as it used to because of the changes to the W. With that being said, the new Q feels really goddamn strong. It feels very hard to escape this hero if he gets a Q on you, and he just does so much damage. Clockwork. This hero has like a 56% win rate in pro-level pubs. The problem with this hero, the reason that it's not an extremely good tier, is because if you fall off so goddamn hard. And we had a question on Alchemy Answers the other day. I'm falling off on Clockwork. What do I do? Nothing. There's no answer to it. This hero just has no way of coming back into the game. He becomes a support, which is fine. He's a decent support. But when he is ahead, this hero is an absolute beast right now. Next, let's cover the not very good, but also not griefing tier. First, we have Alchemist. Decent hero if you can get it last pick. However, with that being said, everybody's getting tons of neutral items, so the fact that he gives his team so many items and he gets so many items so quickly doesn't really feel that special. OD definitely does more damage in the late game than he did before, but good luck getting there because you farm so slowly now that your Arcane Orb is no longer AoE. Chaos Knight, very good if you can get to the ultimate, extremely good at fighting and killing in the lane. However, I don't see how a CK lanes against a Venomancer, a Puck, or a Sand King, which are all very good heroes. Dragon Knight, another hero that I think suffers because of the heroes that are popular. Something like Razor or TA will completely decimate a DK in lane. However, he is one of the best tower pushers in the game, and if you need a mid laner that's a tanky frontliner who has a stun, he's your hero. Shadow Demon. Very good against trading supports that their entire shtick is to just out-trade you, something like an Ogre and Undying. The only problem is those heroes aren't particularly good right now. They're decent, and Shadow Demon can feel a bit useless outside of the laning stage. Legion Commander, I think this hero has been falling off for quite some time now, and she just continues to fall. Heroes that are good against her are very popular in the meta. Things like Ursa and Venomancer, I don't see how she should be able to lane against that, so she can get very far behind just from the start. Earthshaker, I think he's not a good enough laner to be very strong in this meta because you're going to lose a couple of outposts if you lose the lanes and lose the early game, and that makes it already not worth it to pick a hero. However, very decent against these heroes that you need AoE clear, such as like a Naga or a Meepo. Pudge, they nerfed him. Rot no longer suicides. That was a good portion of his laning. The Flesh Heap was nerfed. It does less regen. That sucks. It's still a decent hero against squishy supports. Timbersaw, very good against strength heroes, but you have to be careful. He only plays from ahead. Tusk, another hero that kind of only plays from ahead. You have to be a Tusk player. You have to have a good combo in the lane to combo with the Icy Hands or whatever the hell it's called, something like an Enchantress. But with the XP talent nerfs, this hero is pretty bad at coming back. Wraith King, he's definitely good at farming jungle, definitely good at pressuring lanes with the skeletons. He was nerfed, and he plays too slowly for this meta, in my opinion. Juggernaut, super generic. I think that a lot of the offlaners right now are not punished by him, but if he keeps getting buffed, he's definitely going to make his way up the tiers. Mirana, pretty decent hero, honestly, for securing outposts with the ultimate, but she's been nerfed over and over and over again. I think there are better fours that you can pick. Monkey King, super would struggle in lane against something like a Lone Druid or a Bat Rider, so you really have to be careful picking this hero. However, it has gotten some buffs. PA, Phantom Lancer, Spectre, Troll, and Terrorblade. These heroes all suffer from the same problem, that in order to come online, you need like 15 minutes, but that is... already you're going to lose 2 outposts for that, and that is enough to lose the game. So you need heroes that are able to be online and to fight those early outposts, and these heroes won't do it. Weaver, the XP nerf hurt him a little bit. The Sakuchi change is pretty cool, but he still suffers from the same problems. He's still very squishy. He's susceptible to something like a Puck or a Tiny, which are very popular in the meta, but definitely a better hero than he was before. Darkseer, this hero is really good just in the sense that the Helm of Dominator is really strong, and that's one of the best items on Darkseer. However, he needs so many levels to do what he wants to do. Very good in Darkseer combos, though. Dark Willow, I think you have to be a Dark Willow player to play this hero. You are going to do nothing versus something like a Morphling or a Puck if they're good, and you're not particularly good at this hero. So you have to be a Willow player that knows the combos. Dazzle, very good against these trading zoning supports like Ogre, like Undying. Unfortunately, they're not really that meta. Enchantress, I like that they changed her and they tried something, but that made her only a support because she's going to feed in the lane to any competent heroes because she doesn't have the attack speed passive anymore until she gets 6, and the impetus doesn't do as much damage in the late game. Grimstroke, Very good if you have combos, good with Lich, good with Doom, good with Juggernaut, but I think outside of combos, this hero is kind of useless. Invoker, I think prefers to be a support, Quas Wex, and the new Aghanims change where it was added to the ultimate ability instead is something that doesn't really benefit a hero that doesn't get that many levels, so a bit unfortunate there. Lich, decent hero, very generic, not great against heroes that are good at playing around the Frost Shield, like magic damage heroes or heroes that can purge it. Lion, I'd say that this is a good position for, very snowbally, has good disable, but outside of that, he can feel like kind of griefing just because he's so goddamn squishy that even if you get items, you really don't do much to somebody just hunting you down in a team fight. Oracle, this is a decent hero. I think that he's very defensive in like a super aggressive meta to some degree. He needs a couple of levels before he does much in the laning stage. If you can get, like, if your carry dies and you get 2 levels or something of solo XP, that actually feels really good to be an Oracle. Maybe there's some crazy strat there, but Oracle's decent. Definitely very good against, like, Venomancer or some heavy magical lineup. Pugna, also good against very heavy magical lineup because he has the Nether Ward, and he's really good if you need a hero in the mid lane that needs to, like, run around and push towers early. Anti-Mage is very strong right now, and this is a Pugna counter, though. Queen of Pain, very good at dominating the laning phase. However, she doesn't feel as impactful as a lot of other cores past the laning stage. Storm, really good with the Bloodstone changes. He loves the Bloodstone changes, but very passive and doesn't fight outposts until he gets some items and gets like level 12, and that's too slow in my opinion. Warlock, Witch Doctor, Ancient Apparition. I think these heroes are kind of useless in the laning stage to any competent off lanes, and they do scale to become very strong, but they also just feed from behind, and I think with how bad they are all at laning, they're going to feed. Bristleback, I don't know what role this hero is supposed to play. I don't think he can play mid because he's not fast enough to play mid. I don't think he can play off lane because he doesn't have any disable, and it really sucks having an off laner without disable these days. And I carry. I mean, I think it's carry. It's a decent carry, but you have to last pick it because if you're picking Bristle into like a Bat Rider or a Necro, you're going to lose. Undying, very good at laning if you need some ownage laning support, but the changes, the rework to him, definitely a nerf. Clinks, I was going to have this hero in dogshit tier, to be honest, but I saw that he has a 56% win rate on Dota 2 Pro Tracker. Small sample size, but people are trying it, so I'm interested to see where this hero goes. He just got buffed, so it looks like the tweak on his, little bit of a tweak on his Death Pact or Dark Pact or whatever it's called, is it's decent. The hero's okay. Medusa, dogshit tier. She's been bad for a long time. She's still bad. The Mana Snake change, where it doesn't steal mana, the slow really doesn't do much. She still feels really awful. BH and Ricky, both of these heroes contribute nothing to the laning stage. They take a really long time to farm anything. They don't jungle. They don't hit neutrals. It feels really bad. Techies, the Red Mine nerf hurt him a lot. Wind Ranger, but if you're a Techies player, I mean, you're going to keep playing Techies, so why even bother? Wind Ranger, pretty similar. I think that this hero is a really useless garbage support. I think she's not a good carry, not a good offlaner. And I think as a mid laner, you have to be a Wind Ranger picker to play this hero. And there are heroes that are picked in the mid lane right now that are just going to outpace a Wind Ranger in a lot of degrees. And I think that's the only role for her. So that's why she's dogshit tier. Sniper, I think this hero is just really bad at fighting outposts. I think he's bad at fighting in side lanes because he has to put himself out of position really far away from towers. There's no really safe place that you can stand as a sniper. Like, this hero just feeds right now. Cancer last picks, these are self-explanatory. You just last pick these. If you have a good game, you win. If you have a bad game, you lose. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in another video.